All right, big time SOS show today. We're talking all about Fernando Mendoza and him choosing to not throw at the combine. Is that a red flag? We get your thoughts. Plus, a tennis legend joins me here in the studio. It's Gael Monfils coming into town for the big MGM Slam at T-Mobile Arena. You don't want to miss that interview. All that and so much more coming up right now on Sound Off Sports.
Make some noise. This is Sound Off Sports, sponsored by Silver State Schools Credit Union.
Hello and welcome everybody into the den here at Fox 5 Studios for Sound Off Sports. I'm Mike Davis, joined by my main man, producer, co-host James Edward Barrickman the fourth. James, big show today. One of my heroes, my all-time tennis heroes.
And a great name.
A great name. You've been saying it all day.
I haven't been able to stop.
You've been saying it in a French accent.
Gael Monfils.
See, and you're saying it
pretty
right.
Good.
Gael Monfils. This guy was ranked number 6 in the world in tennis for a while. Now he's coming to T-Mobile Arena on Sunday to face off for the MGM Slam. A lot of great young talent and some veterans as well going to be hitting the court at MGM T-Mobile Arena for some action. But before we get to that interview, James, which will be later in the show, let's talk about what we asked everybody at home. Is it a red flag that Fernando Mendoza, projected number 1 overall pick, Heisman Trophy winner, the new savior of the Raider Nation and the silver and black, is it a red flag that he's not participating in throwing drills at the combine in Indy this week? James, what's your take on that decision? Because listen, this is a guy who's got a lot to lose. This isn't, a guy who might be going in the 3rd or 4th round. It can only be worse for him. And that's why in the past we've seen last year's number 1 overall pick, Cam Ward didn't throw.
Caleb Williams didn't throw, and he got grilled for that.
Yeah. All these guys, they really don't throw. Joe Burrow, I don't think he even threw. So if you're projected to be 1, you don't throw.
Especially for a guy like Fernando Mendoza, where you don't even have anybody giving you potential heat for the number 1 pick. You're going to the Raiders, the team that is 100% taking a quarterback. You are, without a doubt, the best quarterback prospect on the board. Nobody else is even projected to go in the first round. So when you, and it might be different, like if Dante Moore had decided that he wanted to come out. Maybe Fernando Mendoza decides he wants to throw because Dante Moore is still an option for the Raiders. He's not, so he's not an option for the Raiders. So if for Mendoza, he's got nothing to gain and potentially everything to lose by throwing at the combine. And it's not like he's not going to throw ever. We've seen him play all season, but he's going to throw at the Indiana's Pro Day.
Yeah, he's going to do that.
So this is really a nothing story. And I say that I'm the one that comes up with the stories for this show. So
I mean, I do as well. But you
we both do. But in this instance,
you did push for this, and I would say, listen, what can he do during a combine throwing drill situation that's going to be more impressive than anything he's already done on the field? I mean, I just like the combine, and I get a kick out of seeing these guys doing their thing. He's still going to participate like in the Wonderlic, James, and he's going to
do the interviews. He's just not throwing.
Right. So he's going to do a lot of he's going to run, right?
I would assume.
Yeah.
If all he's doing is not throwing, I would assume he's running.
So it'll be interesting to see him do some of the other things at the combine, but the throwing is not something to get super worked up about. James, online, what were people saying at home regarding this decision? Were they for it or against it? Did they think it was a red flag?
So we asked everybody that question. Are you concerned by Fernando Mendoza's decision not to throw at the combine? And Raider Nation had Mendoza's back. 81% said no, they are not concerned. Only 19% stating some sort of concern or issue with it.
Yeah.
So overwhelmingly, Raider Nation has Mendoza's back already, and he's not even on the team.
It's fascinating because watching him play, this is one of the most accurate passers I've seen coming out of college in a long time. There's not a lot that I need to see further from him when it comes to mechanics, throwing, accuracy. I think that's going to be the smoothest transition for him, I think, than a lot of quarterbacks. I think Cam Ward, a guy who was a number 1 overall pick last year, had a lot more question marks whether, yes, maybe athletically he's more
and
sound and built.
Gifts.
Yes,
right.
he's there. But when it comes to throwing a football through a window, and I don't know how much more Mendoza can do to demonstrate to people this guy can put the ball where it needs to be and be a pocket passer.
I think accuracy is one of Mendoza's strengths, no doubt about it. And what I say about Mendoza when I get asked about him, I think what makes Mendoza great, because you watch him play and there's nothing that jumps off the screen at you in terms of his athleticism or, arm talent, but the ball goes where it needs to be every single time, and you listen to the way he goes about his business pre-game, pre-snap, leading up to his games. He is, as John Spytek, a word that John Spytek used today, or maybe it was John Spytek or somebody else, he is maniacal in his preparation, Tom Brady-like.
Right.
And I think when you have those kind of qualities, those can overcome some of your deficiencies physically, right? And I think that is a lot of what Fernando Mendoza is. One of the things, and this is a little bit off topic, one of my least favorite comps for Fernando Mendoza is Jared Goff.
Well, he's been getting a lot of Matt Ryan and Jared Goff, right?
Yeah.
Those are the two we've been seeing a lot of. Why are you not thrilled about the Jared Goff stuff?
They're like, he has Jared Goff type athleticism, and that's just, to me,
he's more athletic, way more,
far more athletic than Jared Goff. He doesn't, he's not Michael Vick in his prime, but did you ever see Jared Goff at Cal run through 3 Miami defenders, spin move, dive into the end zone, bounce off of defenders like that in crunch time? When has Jared Goff ever done that? And I love Jared Goff, but Fernando Mendoza is a much more athletic.
Well, you know what the funny thing is? Daniel Jeremiah, one of the best draft analysts out there, he kind of talks about players in terms of families, and he puts that family tree of Matt Ryan, Jared Goff, and Mendoza in the same thing. I agree with you. I'm
not saying he's not similar to Jared Goff.
I don't think he's Josh Allen.
Of course not. No.
I think he's a little bit more Joe Burrow, where he could run for that first down.
People don't give Joe Burrow the credit for how athletic he is. Yeah,
I feel the same way. So I think he's going to be more sneaky athletic than people think. I'm very curious to see what he gets on the Wonderlic. This is a guy who's basically doing advertisements for LinkedIn. Super smart kid. So I'm curious to see if he gets a perfect score on that baby, but we'll have to see what that's all about. Guys, coming up after a short break, just like James mentioned, John Spytek, the GM for the Raiders, a lot of news regarding him coming out of Indy, everything going on with Mendoza and Maxx Crosby. We're going to be breaking that down after these short words. All right, well, it's the job that many of us, most of us, I know James and I can speak for, would love to have. General manager of an NFL team, and John Spytek is in a very exciting position as the GM of the Raiders. James, he's able to do something a lot of GMs aren't able to do, have the first overall pick and take a potential franchise quarterback that is coming off a Heisman Trophy season, coming off a national championship. There's not a lot of, you already come into this job as a general manager with a lot of pressure. I could see the pressure the night before the draft when you take a Jamarcus Russell and you're like, ugh, is this going to work out? Even a Cam Ward, I'd be like, who knows? He would. Incarnate Ward, he had really one good season of play. You're not sure if he's 100% going to be the face of your franchise guy. To me, if I was a general manager and I'm putting my money on somebody, I don't think I'm 34. In all my years of watching college football, the NFL, there's maybe a few more guys, 2 or 3 that come to mind that would be can't miss. Like, I just know there's no way they're going to miss.
You're putting Fernando Mendoza on that same level. When you say can't miss, are you talking
I'm saying
Trevor Lawrence, Andrew Luck can't miss?
I'm saying I wasn't even that into it, Trevor. I'm saying the Andrew Luck, type, the Peyton Manning level. I really think when you put together his off the field and on the field, Because here's what you said earlier, James. It's like Fernando Mendoza, you said the maniacal trait that he has. It's about that. He wants to be great more than he even is great, which is such a key thing here. The Caleb Williams stuff, I felt good about him, but there's worrisome things. The painted fingernails, the attitude, there's certain
There's
things.
a little Kyler Murray to him there.
Yes, you're not sure. To me, if you were John Spytek, before we get into his comments from the Combine, wouldn't you rest assured at night, feel your head goes on that pillow the night before the first round? Aren't you feeling like, man, I feel pretty good about this? Wouldn't you feel that way?
I am totally with you. What makes Fernando Mendoza so attractive from a football perspective is not necessarily the things he's doing on the field, but what he's doing off the field in terms of the prep, in practice, all the work that he puts in to make sure that it works on Sunday.
Yes.
So where you have prepared so hard, you've watched all the tape, you know every look. So when you go out there on Sunday, there's no pressure because you already know what's coming, what's going on. Very Tom Brady-like.
Yes.
So, yes, from that angle, I am 100% with you. John Spytek should rest assured knowing you're going to get everything you got out of this kid because as a person, as a player, he's got everything you want. My only concern about Fernando Mendoza is his actual physical ability on the field. He's pretty deadly accurate. Not the most accurate quarterback I've ever seen. He doesn't have the biggest arm. He's not the most athletic. But his two biggest strengths, in my opinion, are the accuracy and off-the-field preparation things. Yeah. So from that angle, yes.
Now, John Spytek in Indianapolis, of course, Lucas Oil Stadium, a lot going on this week for the NFL Combine. As we spoke about earlier, Mendoza's not throwing. But, James, tell us a little bit about some of the comments going on in the media when it comes to Spytek and everything he revealed regarding Mendoza and Crosby, because a lot of news has come out.
Yeah, John Spytek talked to the media today at the NFL Combine, and a lot of Sin City Beat alums. Let me plug another one of our shows that airs Mondays, or rather Tuesdays at midnight. Levi Edwards, I believe, asked a good question about Maxx Crosby.
Yeah.
Does John Spytek expect Maxx Crosby to be a Raider next season? And all John Spytek said was, yes, I do. Another person asked about Maxx Crosby. Do you expect Maxx Crosby to be here or something to that effect? Yes, I expect him to be here. However, there was another question about fielding trade offers. And John Spytek said that he is always listening to trade offers. So while he said he expects Maxx Crosby to be here next season, he did not totally deny the possibility of a trade. So if you're Raider Nation, you're not really getting anything there.
I mean, this is when these deals start getting
You're not getting a hard answer.
Right? At the Combine in Indy, St. Elmo's, they go to all these restaurants and they start brokering deals and having these conversations. I think, John Spytek has to say, those kinds of remarks, I would say.
Well, you're not doing your job, right? If you aren't fielding those kind of calls.
So he's got to do that. I also think he wouldn't say, hey, there's a fire sale, on Maxx Crosby. He wants to make it like, hey, we don't want to get rid of, the best player on our team. So I think he's got to act in that manner. But honestly, I think this is going to be the start of a lot more rumors this week regarding Maxx Crosby. This is just such a good draft, and I think there's a lot of good O-line talent. There's a lot of good D-line talent as well, and you can kind of just reset that clock along with Mendoza and get more edge rush and pass rush help in the draft and go younger. James, any last words you want to say on just Spytek and what you expect out of him from the Combine? Any big more news to drop.
No, not quite. The big things he spoke about were obviously Maxx Crosby. That's what everybody wanted to hear about. And then a lot of questions about what he's looking for in a quarterback that weren't directly about Fernando Mendoza, but were all about Fernando Mendoza. And John Spytek pretty much outlined that everything he's looking for in a quarterback is what Fernando Mendoza is without actually saying his name.
Yeah, of course. And I'm sure he'll be listening to offers on that, but it would still have to be the godfather of godfather offers. I think it would frankly have to be the biggest offer in the history of the NFL draft to even move off that pick. So I wouldn't anticipate that at all. Guys, coming up after a short break, it is my pleasure. One of my childhood heroes, one of my favorite tennis players of all time, Gael Monfils. He's coming to Vegas to participate in the MGM Slam this Sunday at T-Mobile Arena. He joins me in the studio for a brief conversation next.
You're watching Sound Off Sports, sponsored by Silver State Schools Credit Union.
All right. Hello, everybody. Mike Davis here, Fox 5 Las Vegas. We're talking all about the Slam. Yes, the MGM Slam going down on March 1st at T-Mobile Arena. You're going to be able to see some of the top tennis players in the world competing at the highest level here in Vegas. And my next guest right now, let's just hear what Roger Federer had to say about this guy. Gael is fun to watch, but also fun to play against. Not just because you win or you lose, but because it's exciting. This guy, it's like a race car on the tennis court when you watch this guy. 6'4", the athleticism, the way he moves. It's like he's an artist. He calls himself an artist. It's like a Monet, a Matisse. This guy is like an artist on the tennis court. He slides on clay. He slides on hard courts, too. He does it all. It's one of my all-time favorites. I'm so happy to have him here with us. It's Gael Monfils. Gael, great to see you again, my man. How's everything?
Thank you. Can't complain. I'm actually very happy. Different timing. You just show like a picture. We were very young, and here I am, getting on my 40. I'm at home. My family is good, so everything is good.
Hey, you have been on such a journey. You were once ranked as high as number 6 in the world. You've got into the semis of the French, the semis of the U.S. Open. You've done so much great stuff in your life. But as you just alluded to, now you're on a retirement basically tour. Just like how Kobe Bryant, remember when he was wrapping up his NBA career, he was going all around and fans had to make sure they saw him. That's why we got to make sure we see Gael Monfils here in Vegas, the March 1st, MGM Slam at T-Mobile Arena. So tell me, a full circle thing. You start playing at 2 years old. Your dad was a pro football player, soccer player. He's Rufin. He starts teaching you. You turn pro, I believe, at 17, which is in 2004. And then you just take the sport by storm because you were fun. You were different. Tennis didn't have a guy with a fro, with, sliding around, the athleticism. Did you realize that you were changing the sport as you started playing?
Yeah, not really, to be honest. I was just myself, very natural. I always, I always say that I'm myself. When you see me on the court, it's exactly the same person that you see outside the court. So I think I was very lucky.
All right, thank you so much to Gael Monfils. Go to AXS.com for tickets to the MGM Slam and to catch our full interview, which you got to go check out because Gael does a little bit of magic tricks. He is accustomed to that on the court, but he also shows off some magic tricks to me in this interview. Go to our YouTube page at Silver State Sports. Well, the shuttle run, the broad jump, the 40, it's just a few of the things that go down at the NFL Combine, James.
Yep.
I have to say, I think you would beat me in every category at the NFL Combine, and I actually think maybe not the job interview. I think you do well in that, but
yeah,
when it comes to broad jump, the 3-cone drill, the bench press.
You played hoops, though. You might have me in the broad jump.
Maybe. I don't know. I just think you would.
If you got any Hank in you, you're beating me in the broad jump.
Brother. I think you're like the Mike Mamula of like. I think you would. I think you'd go like a Vernon Davis. You'd go crazy at the combine. What do you think you would do best at the combine?
I would have to say it would be the 3-cone drill.
The 3-cone drill, because you got to have shiftiness.
That was what I athletically back in the days when I could pick them up and put them down quickly. I was quick, man. I didn't have great straight line speed, but I was shifty. I could get in and out of cuts well. I would say the 3-cone drill. What about you?
I like that one. I think what's the one where you kind of just like run through the field, but you're twisting and turning, catching passes.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I think that one I do good at.
Okay.
The tight end, they make the tight ends of the receivers go through that. Like it's just a straight line, boom, and you
catch.
You don't know where the ball's
run. Yeah. Yes. I don't know what that's called.
Anything with hand-eye coordination is technically where I would be better. It's more the speed. Speed kills, and that's not good.
Do you think you could run under a 6-second 40? We should do this one time.
I've done
on
this
show.
on TV here.
Really?
When live TV, Fox 5, when they had the NFL draft here, they did a 40. I didn't do well. And Kirik and I were together.
What do you think Kierkegaard runs in the 40?
Probably better than me. I don't know if I can. Listen, I'm not doing a 4.2. I can tell you that. What would you get?
Oh, goodness gracious. I would love to say back in my heyday I could get under a 5. I don't even know if that's true. I'd have a tough time getting under 6 these days. I don't know. Well, maybe we'll have to try it one of these days on this show.
We'll see. I don't think James and I are getting drafted this year, unfortunately. No. But our boy, the savior for Raider Nation, will be that number 1 pick, Fernando Mendoza. Check out everything Combine this week. Give us a call, 702-855-3502. And make sure you go to our YouTube page. Check out that full interview with Gael Monfils. It's pretty good stuff that's going down on Sunday at T-Mobile Arena. For Jess, for James, I'm Mike Davis. We'll see you next time here on Sound Off Sports.